Viewers, welcome. Hello, viewers. Welcome to Jaipur Dialogue USA. I'm Vibhuti Jha. Today, before I start, I will make my customary request with you to please like, subscribe, and support our channel and give your feedback. Today, I wanted to talk about whether it is politics of awakening happening in America or are we only drifting away? It is truly a black day in American social, political, and economic life. I combine these three elements for the simple reason because each one affects the other one. Now, why I say that is you must have seen the news that American campuses for the last 2, 3 weeks were absolutely under the hostage of Hamas and Hamas supporters. They were not even, you know, apologetic about it. They were always attacking the university to uh, indulge in anti-Israel, anti-Semitic movement that had gripped the universities through the youth and others. Now, as the news comes about, it was clear to me earlier on, because we couldn't say so, that many non-students had gotten involved in it. So it was done professionally. What was clear that the entire agitation from California to New York to Wisconsin to Texas to everywhere else was a remarkably well organized, well oiled drilled campaign to hold hostage. Here is a very important part. Hundreds of students or participants, I won't call them students, hundreds of participants have been arrested. In New York, the criminal laws are such that most of the people have already been let out on charges of misdemeanor and misbehavior, freedom being upheld. This is the tragedy. And why I say it is a tragedy for America is because it has also been seriously being believed that the radical elements are radicalizing the students and the youth around. So many illegal people have come in America, but they are taking part in these entire movements that are happening. Somebody's paying big money. Actually, it's openly being talked about that the George Soros Open Society, Rockefeller Foundation, Ford Foundations have been behind these, funding these part of the agitations. It's actually very tragic that how radical Islam and Hamas has radicalized freedom itself in America. This is the very dangerous part. I want to talk about a little different element than this. I know and you know that we Hindus and we Indians are mostly peace loving people. We come here, we work hard, we assimilate in the society, and we do well, resulting in the enormous success that Indians have achieved in America or world over. But here is the important part, and that's something which is very bothersome for me. I wanted to talk to you about that we have Indian Hindu names only, if I may say, the Hindus, with people with Hindu names. There are 5 of them or 6 of them in the US Congress, and I have the names of them: Sri Thanedar, Pramila Jaipal, Ro Khanna, Pramila Jaipal, Raja Krishnamurthy, and Dr. Ami Bera. There are 6 of them who are in the US Congress. All right. But they have, to their credit, they have assimilated in the American way of life rather well. However, what is disappointing for me, and I hope you also agree with me on this, that these people have never championed the Hindu Sanatani way of life in America. They have merged with the American pot, which is very great, no doubt about that. But they have never been vocal, strong, or supportive of the India way of life, the Hindu way of life. On the contrary, they have all been systematically opposed to the Indian government, and they have made statements against Indian interest and Hindu interest regarding 370, CAA, and what have you. To the extent that they have also derided Hindutva as an evil force, regardless of the fact that we have never been an evil force in America. If anything, we have been very supportive of the American way of life. Now compare that with two prominent US Congress ladies, Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar. Now, I don't know them personally. I only see what they are doing. And what they have done is they have radicalized and they have always treated freedom as the fault line of democracy. Freedom for me, not for you. That seems to be their entire agenda. So Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib and her cohorts, they have been very dominant in forcing the Democratic Party hand in taking a certain stand with reference to Israel and Palestine. Here is another element. The six Indian Americans who are the Congress people, their influence on American political life, espousing our values, has been negligible. Negligible. Whereas these two ladies, belonging to the same Democratic Party, they have been very vocal, very effective, and to the extent of claiming ridicule, they have succeeded in changing the narrative and the discussions within the Democratic Party. Think about that. It's so important that when you use your own power to influence an agenda of your own party, they threaten President Biden. They have threatened President Biden that you will not get our votes if you don't change your Israel policy, to the extent that they have gone anti Semitic. These ladies have visited the protesters in campuses, shook hands with them, and told them, "We are behind you." I'm wondering, where are our congressmen? Where is their responsibility? Have they spoken with these two people to say that that's not right? That's not okay. There is definitely the Jewish element in the Democratic Party that is raising a deep concern and protest towards these elements. But it didn't happen. So my point is very simple. Now you understand that why US Democratic Party led government is so anti-India, so anti-Hindu. They have infiltrated the minds of Hindus in America, children in America, the students in America, in believing that Hindutva is evil and they are right. This is what my trouble is. And even for speaking about it, I will be branded as Islamophobic. That's the sad part. They can criticize you and I and our way of life at the drop of a hat. Idol worshippers, Hindutva is a dangerous concept, whereas the Hindutva has never done any harm to anyone. And I say this with pride. There may be occasional incidents, but there's never as a policy prescription to hurt any group of people, whereas Ilhan Omar and Tlaib do that incessantly. Imagine last in 2020 election, these people had openly given a call to Muslims to vote for Biden. And I had asked that time this simple question: if Hindus had given a similar directive to all Hindus in America to vote for any particular candidate, that would have been taken as a huge, huge interference in American political system, but they are not. So it virtually operates freedom for me, but not for you. That's another very important element that Indians have to begin to be aware that in this war that is happening, the 21st century battle between jihad and crusade doesn't affect us. We must stand together and united to protect and defend our interests. That's our param dharma, if I may say so. You cannot allow others, whether it is an insidious organization called Hindus for Human Rights or whatever, you cannot let that happen. That group particularly doesn't allow human rights to Hindus. They work against that interest. The other part that I wanted to say to you here is remarkably important, that these people have been systematically infiltrating the education platform. Therefore, it's very important to manage and you know create an environment of education in India and Hindus here through various establishments of our own, like Hindu University of America. Support them. Are they evil? Not at all. They are espousing our own causes, or the organizations like Hindu Action, Hindu American Foundation, Coalition of Hindus of North America, Hindus on Campus. These institutions have to collaborate, cooperate, and coordinate their moves instead of becoming, in the name of freedom, disagreeing with one another for one little matter here or there. It's time to coordinate, cooperate, and collaborate to protect and defend the Hindu and the Indian interest in America. Ladies and gentlemen, it is really a dangerous times in America right now, because this kind of a radicalization is never good. And it is important that every Indian in America and every Indian in India becomes aware of it. And I have always said that the Mool mantra of success of Indians would be how we collaborate, coordinate, and cooperate with each other to protect and defend our interest. That's the point which I want to drive today. This is very, very important. Reach out to the six congressmen and women, or five congressmen and one congress lady, Pramila Jayapal. Ask them, what is your bones about being a Hindu or supporting the Indian cause? What is wrong with India? What's wrong with Hindus? We have never been at war with anybody in America. On the contrary, we don't even demand our pound of flesh, if I may say so, the Shakespearean language. We don't even demand our pound of flesh. So why can't we be left alone? Why can't we jump into the fray and say what is happening? The radicalization of religious based indoctrination must stop. We are a proud country, the greatest of democracies. Both India and America are world's two most prominent democracies. And if you see this, the unholy alliance of the elites, George Soros and the likes, Rockefeller Foundation or Ford Foundation, and their cronies spread through the NGOs, they are trying to infiltrate with the help of communists, Marxists, and Islamists to penetrate and destroy our way of life. It's time for us to stand up for the truth. As I always say, I invoke the promise. If Satyameva Jayate has to happen, we must stand up for it. And this is the time. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and support our channel, and we will respect your feedback. Thank you.